Hello everyone, this is Oguzhan. Welcome back to another UiPath tutorial with me. In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make API calls in UiPath. First of all, we need to add some package to UiPath to be able to make those calls. And after that, I will introduce you the use case that we are going to use in this tutorial. Basically, we will make some HTTP requests from the sample endpoint, and we will use that response that we call from that endpoint, and we will try to parse the JSON result, and then we will write it to our Excel file. So first of all, I need to introduce you to JSON placeholder site, which is the website that you can use for fake API calls. And today I am going to use the user's endpoint, which is this one, and we are trying to call this endpoint as a web service, and we will try to parse this JSON result by using Deserialize JSON activity, and then we will try to get some information from this JSON result and we'll write to the Excel file. Okay, first of all we need to install the package, so let me click manage packages and I need to search for web API activities. If you want to use some web service, some HTTP request or SOAP web service, and if you want to consume JSON or XML, you need to use this package. As you see here, it says that including JSON, REST, SOAP and XML. So I will click install and save. So the package is here, and we now can use the HTTP request activity for making REST API calls. On the activity page, I will search for web, and as you see there is an HTTP request and also there is a SOAP request. So let me get it here. When we drag and drop this activity, it shows us a wizard which you can write your endpoint and you can test your web service result here. So let's add this endpoint here to this place and then click refresh. As you see, status code is 200, which means it's successful, and request method is get, because we are trying to get all those users from that web service endpoint. And as you can see the response here, it's the same with the website output here. So this is a JSON. There are 10 users here, and we will try to parse these objects to some string variables or some data table rows. So first let's try to serialize this JSON array, and after that we will continue. Let me click OK. There are lots of properties for HTTP requests, but at the moment we don't pay attention for these properties. We just need to focus on this response content, which will be Ctrl+K response. Okay, basically we are ready for making this HTTP request. So we will need to serialize this JSON output, because HTTP request activity will return us the response as a JSON or JSON array. So we need to serialize that JSON or JSON array to be able to get data from that object. Let's type Deserialize JSON or Deserialize JSON array. How do you choose that? Actually, by looking your result or by looking your web service definition, if the service returns array of something, you should use JSON array, but if your service returns just an object, you can use JSON. I will use Deserialize JSON array here. Let me get it here. Which JSON array I am going to deserialize here, which is response. Okay, what will be my out? It is this one. Let me define JSON array or JArray. Okay, so when we look at this JArray, as you see, the variable type is also JArray, and it's like the array of JSON objects. So we can easily iterate in this JSON array object, and we can easily reach those information in that JSON object. For this, I need to use for each activity. Let me take it here, and after that I need to iterate JArray. For preventing possible misunderstandings or confusions, I am going to change my variable name to JSON Array so that you won't get confused with variable name to variable type. So I am going to iterate JSON Array. After that, I am going to get some write line activity. First, I want to show you what the output is like. So let me get write line, and if you want to reach item, first you need to iterate. Then basically it's like reaching these properties with their name. If I need to go to the email address, I simply say item email. If I want to get the street, I need to say item address and then street. So let's try to get name first, then address. We can continue with the street and zip code, and then we can get, I think, longitude. So let's get item, I think it's name, right? Let's make it bigger here to string plus is living in plus city. Let's get city, which is here. So item address and city to string. You need to use to string because it is an object, so you need to cast it to string. And then the name is living in this city, which, let's add plus, which is located on blah blah coordinates. I will say on, first let's get let, so on let double quotes item address. You shouldn't make typos here, you need to be careful. And then geo and then lat. Okay, geo and then lat to string. Okay, blah blah is living in this city which is located on this. Okay, so let's try to see if it is working or not, then continue to our example. It finished working, so let's check if it is true or not. So Leanne Graham is living in, I forgot to put a space here, Givenbro, which is located on lat this. Okay, so Erwin Howell is living Misokburg, yes, this lat. Okay, so it goes like this: Clementine, Patricia, Chelsea, Mrs. Dennis, and Curtis, Nicholas, Glenna, etc, etc. So I think you got the point here. We just get the data from that web service. So what else can we do here? And we can write these informations to the Excel file. So let's try to add those information to Excel file. So for this I need to build a data table first. So I will be able to create the patterns of the data. Let's add name. Let's add what else? Email. Okay, email. It will be string. Okay, let's add what? City. What else? Let's add lat and longitude. Hopefully I am pronouncing them correctly. Lat and long. LNG. Okay, so this is the data table. Let's call it something. My data table. Okay, then here I am going to use add data row activity. So I will use array row, and this is the part that we are going to use this item object again. Item name, item email, then item, sorry, I need to add to string to string, city to string. Okay, let's me check this the lat length. Okay, so let's continue to add item lat, not lat, sorry, item address city to string, item address geo, and then lat to string. And for the longitude is the same thing, but we will type LNG. Okay, so let's check again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so then we will add this to my data table and we will write it down to Excel file. So I am going to use write range activity here, workbook, API results, XLSX, sheet name, sheet 1, cell, I am not going to specify anything, or my data table here, at headers. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. Let's run it. So let's refresh it. API results. So the headers are correct. Okay, let's check data if it is matching or not. So let's take a look. And Leanne Graham, Sincere Applebee's, given 37, 81, and Arvin Howell, Shanna Melissa.tv, 43, 34, etc, etc. It's going on. Let's check the last one. Clementina Dubuk, Ray Padber, Karina Bees, Lep Sakbury 3857. Okay, so basically we have made our first API call with this web service, and we get all the users from this fake API service and deserialize them by using Deserialize JSON Array activity, and then we just simply type those data into data table, and then we write it down them to Excel file. I think that's all for today, and if you liked the video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any new UiPath tutorials. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.